promote healing in a way. That means to help to kill the bacteria, okay, to stop the blood. So you will find that, you know, at the point where you cut your hand, you will start to see inflammation like swelling and redness. Okay, so this is actually the bacteria fighting against the immune cells in a way. Okay, so when this bacteria is all killed, the body will activate an anti-inflammatory response to stop the inflammation. Okay, so this anti-inflammatory response is very important because we want to actually halt the inflammation process. Okay, but the problem now happens is, you know, when our body has too much of omega-6, there's too much of pro-inflammation. Okay, so this results in the inflammation continue to be ongoing, and the anti-inflammatory response is actually not being able to trigger or not enough to actually halt the whole process of inflammation. So that results in our body having a lot of inflammatory, you know, conditions and diseases that's related to inflammation itself. Okay, so you will find people who are from Japan, the Japanese, when they take more raw fishes, okay, so people from Japan or from even from the Scandinavian country where the diet is actually more rich in the fish from the ocean, the deep sea fish, okay, their ratio is actually more balanced. Okay, you see that their ratio of 6:1 is about 4:1. That means the omega-6 to omega-3 is about 4:1 ratio. So that's also the reason why they have lower risk of cardiovascular problem and also have longer lifespan as well. Okay, so but for us, you know, how are we able to make our ratio more balanced? Of course, in one way is to cut down on the intake of omega-6, you know, from those cooking oil. Okay, that means we try to avoid more of all this oily food, okay, deep fried food, okay, but it has ingrained into our diet somehow, okay, and in order for us to really bring back the balance of this ratio, it is not just about cutting down the omega-6 that is enough. In fact, we have to quickly raise the intake of omega-3. Okay, so this is the reason why omega-3 fatty acids is a very important component in terms of our health management. Okay, because inflammation is really a root cause of a lot of issues. Okay, traditionally or originally, we used to think that, you know, inflammation will cause us to have arthritis. Okay, arthritis is a form of inflammation. Okay, and also inflammation will also give rise to things like eczema, psoriasis, you know, all these are inflammation conditions of the skin. So in the past, we used to think that, you know, this is just, these are just simple issues related to inflammation of this localized region. Okay, but the research has shown much more of what inflammation can actually cause. Okay, it can include, of course, heart problem, cardiovascular risk, okay, and it generates a lot of free radicals as well. So, and all these free radicals that's generating will actually cause a lot of issues to health, okay, including leading up to cancer as well. Okay, so this is the reason why in 2003 there's a lot of reports to show that really essential fatty acids, the omega-3 essential fatty acids, is very important for us to help to bring down this inflammation state, you know, in our health. Okay, and the best way is through a good source of omega-3 fatty acids supplement, because your body cannot produce omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so in omega-3 fatty acids itself, there's two types of omega-3 fatty acids. One is the EPA and one is the DHA. So EPA basically target at our cardiovascular. That means it helps to clean out our arteries. Okay, we improve on terms of the HDL, because the HDL, the good cholesterol, is meant to help our body able to transport the cholesterol away from the blood, from the arteries, okay, to the liver for excretion. Then it also actually helps in terms of improving immune system as well. Okay, so then DHA itself is basically much targeted for our brain cells, you know, and our cell membrane formation. Okay, so there's actually two different purposes there, but they're all very important part in terms of managing our health, you know, our health issue. Okay, so these two are very important. Okay, so this brings us to our marine omega, which contains the krill oil. Okay, because the marine omega that we have here in Pharmanex, okay, the main thing to take note of in this marine omega is that, first of all, number one, you know, we recognize it's very important for us to have very good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so our marine omega actually contains 4 different types of fishes. Okay, that means omega-3 oil coming, or rather 4 different sources of omega-3 fatty acids coming from 4 different types of fish: sardine, salmon, mackerel, and anchovy. Okay, so this is one important aspect, because a lot of brands outside, usually they probably only carry one type of source of fish. Okay, then the next part is because our company focuses a lot on safety. Okay, we have a 6S quality process that governs all the different products that we have. Okay, so for omega-3 fatty acids, we are very worried about the sources of fish. Okay, because you know, if now we do see there's a lot of pollution in the ocean, dioxin and don't know what kind of other substances that, waste material that's being thrown into the ocean. So this results in ocean being polluted, and of course it causes the fish that's staying in the ocean to also get polluted and carry all these harmful substances as well. Okay, so a lot of times, when you extract the oil from the fish, okay, you also will find that sometimes all these harmful substances is present in the oil, because all these substances are actually fat soluble. Okay, so it's very important for us to make sure that all our fish oil is free from all these contaminants. Okay, so but a lot of times when you see supplies of, because health supplement company do not we don't farm our own fish. It's to come from nature supplies. Okay, so a lot of suppliers that supplies all these fish oils, the sources of fish oil, okay, when they send to Pharmanex, at our Pharmanex end, actually we also do our own testing. Okay, we don't rely on third-party verification or certification. Okay, unlike a lot of other companies, a lot of companies, because this is how it works. That means the fish oil come from the fishes. Then there will be a first supplier that they will actually extract the fish oil from these sources of fish. Okay, then they will send to the manufacturing company. Okay, that means the different manufacturing plant. So then the onus is actually on the manufacturer to really whether they want to test or not. Okay, but usually when the batch of fish oil comes along, it's already certified by the supplier. Okay, and of course, if you want to go through a lot of tests, it's going to cost a lot of money as well. Okay, so most companies will skip this step by relying on just the certification that's provided by the fish oil sources. Okay, the suppliers. Okay, so that's also the reason why we found, or rather, there has been cases of fish oil supplements that is in the market, and then they have been selling for many years. Okay, a lot of brands in the market that you may find very familiar, including the 7S company. Okay, so this company, they have been around supplying, or rather selling omega-3 supplements in a pharmacy for many years. Okay, but we have also seen cases of certain batches being taken off the shelf because during random sampling by the health authorities, they found it to contain contaminants. Okay, so if this one batch contains, it doesn't represent that other batches don't have, because sometimes it's just not being detected. Okay, so that's the reason why Pharmanex put a lot of put a lot of this emphasis on safety. Okay, we do a lot of checks, a lot of tests being conducted on every batch that comes along. I hear it's about 45 different tests. Okay, to test and check for contaminants and heavy metals. Okay, so this is also how we keep our standards very high. So after a while, I suppose all these suppliers of fish oil, these suppliers will not even bother to send their fish oil to our company if they know that it's actually not being very well tested. Okay, they know it will be rejected straight away. So all this oil will go to other companies, in a sense. Okay, so in any case, that's the reason why we have to make sure that our sources of fish has to be very clean sources, because the ocean is getting more and more polluted. Okay, then the next thing is also is really much getting more and more difficult to get good sources of omega-3 coming from the fishes. Okay, so this also prompted the scientists to look for alternative sources of omega-3. Okay, and that brings us the krill oil. So the krill oil itself is the origin of omega-3 in the food chain, because the fishes itself also don't produce their own omega-3. Okay, so they actually get it from the smaller fish that they eat, and then the very small fish will feed on the krill. Okay, and so the krill represents the very original source of omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, and in krill itself is very abundant. Okay, so in the ocean itself is really much easier to harvest them. Okay, and because it's more abundant. Okay, and it also means that because it's actually in the initial source of the food chain, means that it's actually very pure as well. Then on top of that, the krill has added benefits. Okay, there's a lot of studies done on this krill oil. Okay, we call it the Neptune krill oil, that it contains number one, it contains astaxanthin. Okay, so this is a carotenoid, okay, that is very important for our eye function. Okay, so this is the only form of how should I say? It's the only, because astaxanthin is usually a plant-based source, so our krill oil is the only non-plant sources of astaxanthin itself. Okay, then of course it also contains another um, very important antioxidant, which is the bioflavonoid, okay, which is actually also, you know, come in the krill oil. Okay, usually typically bioflavonoids is only produced from plant sources like algae, you know, and certain plants, okay, or vegetables that we eat. Okay, so this is actually also an important antioxidant that comes along together with our krill as well. Okay, and then of course this krill oil has a special phospholipid, okay, and this phospholipid itself is in the unique form has a better, actually it's more how should I say, is actually very adaptive to our brain, okay, because it's able to pass through the blood brain barrier, okay, much better without causing the DHA to be affected. Okay, because the DHA is the one that we want to bring it to the brain, to nourish the brain, okay, and help in the brain development itself. So this phospholipid actually has a better affinity, okay, that's the word, affinity for our brain tissue, because it actually can cross the blood-brain barrier easier, much compared to the other DHA, you know, that comes from the fish itself. Okay, so that's why this is very important for us to actually have the krill oil inside. Okay, so this is what makes our marine omega really different from the rest of the other supplements that's in the market. There's many brands of omega-3 fatty acids, really many brands. Okay, and of course a lot of brands, they also have a lot of promotion that they will sell very cheap. Okay, but generally why there's so many brands is also because there's a recognition and a very high awareness that omega-3 fatty acids is very important. Okay, so but of course ours is actually really first grade, because it's a marine omega-3 supplement that comes that has sources of omega-3 coming from fishes and also our krill oil. Okay, so this makes it a very unique blend. Okay, I don't think you can find it in the market, not in Singapore itself. I've never seen a product that contains omega-3 coming from fish and krill at the same time, you know. So this is why it is actually much more better than a lot of brands that's in the market. Okay, so this omega-3, who do we recommend for? Okay, recommendation, I feel omega-3, in fact, everyone should take omega-3 supplement. That's what I feel. Okay, because since inflammation is a root cause of a lot of problem, and it seems that, you know, if you are living in Singapore or living in Malaysia, having a Singaporean diet and Malaysian diet, pretty much we are taking in a lot of omega-6. So that's the reason why we definitely have to increase our omega-3 intake, okay, to give our body the better balance. Okay, so this is what makes omega-3 very important. Okay, so what does omega-3 fatty acids, what does this marine omega helps us, or rather very good for? Okay, I would say it is good for children. That means children from any age. In fact, right from the mother's womb, okay, if pregnant mother is pregnant, okay, we also encourage our pregnant mothers to take the marine omega. Okay, I highly recommend to all mothers, okay, because it is found, study has found that if the mother actually takes omega-3 fatty acids, you know, when they are pregnant, okay, it is found that the child would actually be able to have a better mental development. Okay, so typically children who are born of mothers who actually take omega-3 supplements, you know, they are found to actually have a higher IQ. That means better intelligence. In fact, their fine motor skills are also better, you know, in terms of ability to handle and manipulate small objects. So there's a study here that shows that, you know, it can actually help them to have better coordination. So all these different minute differences, that means that helps in the child's development, is very important, you know, right up from the fetal stage. Okay, so that's the reason why it's very important for mothers to actually take omega-3 fatty acids. And in fact, I think most mothers will know fish is very important for development of fetal, but it's just which sources of fish. You know, they would also be worried about contamination coming from the fish source itself. So that's why this one is highly recommended, because our marine omega is confirmed 100% safe. Okay, very high safety level. Okay, then of course, from children all the way until, that means from the fetal stage right up to the mother having delivered out the baby already, then they do breastfeeding. Okay, so our fish oil is also able to pass through the barrier, you know, to reach the baby through the breast milk. Okay, so this is also a very good source of giving the child the required omega-3 in the development of their brain, okay, and their other cellular function. Okay, and the child's brain capacity can expand very fast during the initial years, right up to maybe about 6-7 years old. Okay, so this is the reason why during this stage, we also want to encourage, after the child is weaned off from breast milk, you know, can go into semi-solid food, we can start to feed them or give them the marine omega or marine omega directly into their diet or let them suck in their mouth. Okay, it is this, how should I say, this our capsule itself, this omega-3 marine omega actually is it has some slight lemon oil taste. So actually it's able to make it better taste compared to a lot of other fish oil supplements outside. Okay, so this is how you can actually bite the capsules and feed it to the child. Okay, then of course as they grow up in the growing up years, it's very important for our this cell membrane. Okay, so marine omega is very good for children, especially with eczema issue. Okay, I've seen children, you know, it's a lot of times, sometimes they have eczema or even dermatitis condition, especially eczema, you know, when the condition is very hot, they start to have rashes around the back of the knee. Then maybe it's also like, you know, at the fold of the arm, okay, or in their neck. Okay, all these are inflammation of the skin. Okay, triggered by basically by all these inflammation as well. Sorry, it's actually, these rashes are triggered by inflammation of the body, so it's actually reflected in the skin. Okay, so it's very good for children with skin issue, and also for children with asthmatic condition as well. It helps to relieve the inflammation that gives rise to all these issues. Okay, then of course as the child grows up in the development years right up to adulthood, okay, it's very important because it helps in terms of cardiovascular protection. Okay, so especially for people with family history of high blood pressure, or even with early signs of blood pressure, you know, omega-3 fatty acids, we usually will encourage them to actually to take marine omega. Okay, then of course for people with high cholesterol, okay, high cholesterol, usually we will recommend them to take colistin, because colistin helps to lower the cholesterol. Okay, but the effect of the colistin would be better if we are able to also add marine omega alongside. Okay, so typically we find almost everyone who has marine omega and colistin, their cholesterol will definitely drop very well. And in fact, we also will see a positive improvement in the good cholesterol as well. That means the HDL will go up. Okay, so this is the reason why I usually will recommend marine omega and colistin to go alongside together. Okay, then what else do we have? Then of course our marine omega is also very good for even for, let me see, what else do we have? For arthritis, yes, just now I mentioned arthritis. Okay, so it's very good for our joint health. Even a lot of people, as you come of age, you know, start to have joint pain. Of course, other than our Flex Care, which is giving us the glucosamine to help us to fix the joint. Okay, the other important component for us to improve in terms of our joint health is marine omega, because it actually have the omega-3 fatty acids that helps to promotes anti-inflammation. Because when the joint starts to ache and start to pain, you start to have a condition of arthritis. Arthritis is a state of inflammation of the joint. Okay, so you very much will need omega-3 fatty acids that comes from this marine omega, okay, to give the anti-inflammation effect. Okay, so it will really very much help in relieving the arthritic condition. Okay, so this is also very important. Okay, then also it also helps in a lot of cases of even menstrual cramps. You know, sometimes menstrual cramps is the time of the month that every month it repeats the whole cycle again. So I found ladies who actually on marine omega, they also have a relief coming from all these symptoms. Okay, so this is the reason why it's a very versatile product, I feel. Okay, so in fact, marine omega, I'll encourage anyone, you know, if you're on supplements, this is definitely something that you have to include in. Okay, and even if you're not on supplements yet, do consider to add this in, because it has a lot of health benefits. Okay, right, especially for cardiovascular. Okay, so, and of course now it's tested and proven that, you know, it can also help to prevent Alzheimer's and even cancer as well. Okay, so that makes this a very important product to be included into our foundation of health. Okay, so I think I will complete all my sharing on